how do you time your kick with the rest of your stroke? Are you just going by feel, or have you got a cue in your mind?
Yeah, it's a lot of that's the part, one of the things I have to remember the most. Like I really have to concentrate on that part of it. So that's another reason why I kind of left that aspect alone until I got the catch to where I thought that part was automatic. And so I'm still playing with this kick. This morning I said, I'm going to sprint all I can. So, and I left in the first 500 meters, according to the file, was at 122 pace. But the next 500 meters was at 140 pace. So I blew up.
Yeah.
I couldn't keep it up. But, you know, the potential is there to swim well. And I'm not looking for a 130 pace next Ironman, but if I could be comfy at 145, I would be thrilled.
Yeah, that'd be a huge improvement. So, and then so in terms, there's a lot to sort of think about there. And you said you've tried a lot of different things. Once you found the things that worked for you, did you just focus on those, or were you still experimenting? Because I'm curious as to what are you thinking about when you're swimming, and how's that changed over the last year?
Well, I didn't dare try anything too different on that catch part, because that seemed to work. And now with the timing of the breath with the stroke and having all the air out of your lungs and getting all new air in at the right time was big. Because before, like, I felt like I had to breathe when the stroke told me to breathe, not when I really needed the air, or I would force that last little bit out. Now like the stroke rate and the breath seems to work together. So I feel like I can sprint and not get tired. And before, that wasn't the case. So swimming doesn't tire me anymore. But I don't want to mess around with anything I've learned on that part yet until someone tells me different. Like, or if you saw a video of myself, I feel like the most improving I need to do is on the back end, like proper kick and not kick so hard that I tire my legs out, but to get that roll, the right rotation, which I just saw a video of yours an hour ago on that proper rotation, which would get your head out of the water at the right time for the air.
And I think with the kick, it's because there's so much nuance to everything in swimming technique related, is that the same thing with like the reach. Like, you don't want to be really short with it, but you don't want to be too long with it either. There's so much nuance to it. And I think getting the kick to coordinate with the rest of the stroke can be one of the harder things for people to do. And for me, I think it's one of the harder things to teach. It really has to be just sort of, you kind of have to figure it out when you're swimming. And I think a lot of it tends to come down to just feeling for that timing. But I think one of the reasons that you probably had such a big improvement there when you got your kick sorted was, well, number one, your legs may have not been dragging as much, which is obviously a big change. But the other thing too is, if your legs are just sort of moving along and there's nothing happening there's no kick whatsoever, then it's really just your upper body working independently of the rest of your body. And
right.
Once you get even just like a small kick, it's that little bit of a downwards kick that you get this transfer of energy that goes through your legs, through to your hip, and then your core. And then you can kind of brace yourself against your catch. You've kind of got something to anchor against or pull against. And that's what is sort of called swimming from the inside out. Like, everything's got to start from the hips and the core and move out to the extremities. Because if there's no sort of tautness to that, then everything's just kind of going, or working independently. Whereas when you get that kick, that's what gives you that stability through the rest of the body. So I'm amazed how much that did improve your speed. But it, probably when if you had saw a video of it from what you were doing to what you're doing now, you'd probably see just a much more rhythmic stroke, I imagine.